We've been gone for a couple of weeks. But the good news is Jonah Monheim has announced he will be coming back. That is a big decision that's going to really help out USC. He basically played anywhere along the line, and he's played right tackle. He's played last year. He played left tackle. We know that his future is going to be on the inside. He during the Holiday Bowl, he played guard. So his next move might actually be now that we're losing. We saw, a big part of our success in 22 was how well Nealon played, Brett Nealon. And then Diedish did a good job last year, but he was a bit undersized. And we have a true freshman coming in Zandamela. He's a hell of a load, and he's the top interior offensive lineman in the country according to the services. He's a true freshman. That's a lot to ask of a true freshman to step in and play LSU on the road as a true freshman. So people have also talked about maybe Monheim, since he's fifth year. So for him to step in and play, he knows the line calls, he knows everything. So that might be a natural fit for him. We have a bunch of amazing guards that can move in, young guards from that freshman class that can slide in and play guard for us. But this one move by Monheim really solidifies it, gives Henson a lot of options. And so, again, Quinones is coming back. He also has practiced and played a little bit of center. So shoring up a lot of the problems. Matt and I going back and forth a little bit about the offensive line. I said it was a lot of miscommunication. Matt was more, sometimes would say also maybe just not the right size. I don't want to misquote you, Matt, but we always argue about this here. I think that some of the problems.
I was more of a Josh Henson skeptic, and it's really interesting with Josh Henson that the tweaks he made in the Holiday Bowl really seemed to work well. And so on one hand, you could say, Henson might be figuring this whole puzzle out. He might be aligning the Rubik's Cube the way it's supposed to be. But of course, the pessimistic view is, what took him so long?
Yeah.
Why did it take that long for him to plug the right guys in at the right spots? So, and Mark, again, we haven't talked for 3 weeks. I think that going into 2024, not just the spring, but fundamentally the season and that LSU opener, to me, the whole gravitational center of USC football is going to be the offensive line. And that might strike you as a weird answer, given that the defense has been such a conversation point, with Alex Grinch holding the program back, and now you have this strong defensive coaching staff coming in. A lot of people might say, well, Matt, don't you have to focus on the defensive side of the ball? Well, I think that the quality of coaching has gotten such a huge upgrade with what's happened in the offseason. Let's also keep in mind, Taylor Mays coached the hell out of that secondary in the Holiday Bowl. And assuming that USC retains Taylor Mays on staff, I think that defensive coaching staff is set to the point that I'm not worried about the quality of defense we're going to have. So really, I think the gravitational center is the offensive line, because I think the defense is going to be significantly better, but you can only make so many assessments of a quarterback based on one game. I'm not sold that Miller Moss is going to have an amazing 2024 season. I am sold on the idea that you give him the starting assignment against LSU as a nod to the trust and the respect that he commands throughout the locker room from all of his teammates. I think he's earned that much. And Maeva now would be the backup who comes in if things go wrong with Miller Moss. So I'm not fully sold on Miller Moss. I do think he has earned the QB1 role, but that whole reality underscores the point. If the offensive line is right in 2024, if the offensive line works, if it functions the way it did in the Holiday Bowl, I think it all comes together, because USC won't be needing 40 points to win games. The defense is going to be better because of the additions on the staff, and now also with Rakes from Texas A&M, and there's also a spring portal window in which USC can beef up its defensive roster even more. You also have the Arnold brothers from Oregon State. You have the 2 UCLA guys that Danton Lynn brought in. there's a lot of solid reinforcements. And of course, for every defensive reinforcement USC has, the key difference from last year, they're not being coached by Alex Grinch and Dante Williams. They're being coached by Danton Lynn, Matt Entz, Doug Belk, and Taylor Mays. So I'm not that worried about the defense. I am worried about how will the offensive line facilitate the run game, enable Miller Moss to be comfortable in a clean pocket and replicate the kinds of performances we saw from that whole offensive unit in the Holiday Bowl. If the offensive line comes together, it's going to come together for the whole USC team. But if that offensive line does not make a significant step forward from what was a disappointing 2023 season, then USC is still going to be stuck in that 8-4, 9-3 purgatory, and will have a hard time making the playoff even with the expanded 12-team field. So Josh Henson, in my mind, he is the most important assistant coach on Lincoln Riley's staff heading into spring ball and the rest of 2024.
Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for daily USC football content. Fight on.